Elena Sterling's hand trembles as she stands outside room 1247, the gold numbers blurring through tears she refuses to let fall. Inside, a woman laughs, high, intimate, familiar in a way that makes Elena's stomach twist. She's been standing here for 4 minutes, phone clutched in her left hand with a hotel confirmation she hacked from her husband's email, her right hand hovering over the door handle like it's made of fire. 3 weeks of tracking. 3 weeks of watching Damon lie about late meetings, emergency calls, Tuesday night investor dinners. 3 weeks of finding receipts, text messages deleted but recovered, credit card charges for jewelry she never received. And now she's here, in this sterile hallway that smells like expensive carpet cleaner and other people's secrets, about to confirm what she already knows will destroy her. The laughter stops. Footsteps approach the door from inside. 2 sets, one heavier than the other. Elena's heart hammers against her ribs, so hard she thinks they might hear it through the wood. She has 3 seconds to decide. Burst in and catch them, or walk away and pretend she never knew. But something's wrong. The woman's voice through the door. She recognizes it. Not just from the muffled sounds of the past few minutes, but from somewhere else. Somewhere closer to home. The door handle turns from the inside. Elena steps back into the hallway alcove, barely breathing as the door opens and a woman in a red dress emerges, fixing her hair, checking her phone, smiling like she just won something. It's Vanessa Hart, her husband's new executive consultant. The woman who sat at their dinner table last month. The woman Elena helped pick a dress for the company gala. The woman who called her friend. Vanessa walks toward the elevator, and Elena realizes with cold, creeping horror. If Vanessa's leaving, who's still laughing inside the room? 72 hours earlier. The coat pocket should have been empty. Elena's hand brushes against smooth glass as she reaches for Damon's dry cleaning receipt. A second phone, small and black, tucked into the silk lining of his Tom Ford overcoat. The one he wore to emergency board meetings every Tuesday night for the past 6 months. She pulls it out. No lock screen. Amateur mistake or supreme arrogance. The messages load, and Elena's world fractures into before and after. V. Tuesday can't come soon enough. I hate sharing you with her. Damon, soon, baby. After the merger closes, we tell her everything. V. You promise? I'm tired of being your secret. Damon, 2 more months. Then you'll be the only Mrs. Sterling that matters. The phone slips from Elena's fingers, clatters against the marble floor of their walk-in closet. Her closet, the one she designed when they built this house 7 years ago, when Damon was still climbing and she was still stupid enough to believe we're building this together meant something. She doesn't cry. That comes later, she'll learn. First comes the numbness, the strange floating sensation of watching your life from outside your body. Elena picks up the phone, scrolls further. 6 months of messages. Pet names that make her nauseous. Photos she has to swipe past quickly because seeing them makes her want to vomit on her own Louboutins. Plans. Promises. A whole relationship fully formed, happening in parallel to her marriage, like a shadow life she was too blind to see. And then, the gut punch. V. I can't wait to finally tell her who I really am to you. The look on her face will be priceless. Elena's hands shake as she screenshots everything. Sends them to a cloud account Damon doesn't know exists. Then she puts the phone back exactly where she found it, smooths the coat's lapels, and walks downstairs where their anniversary gala planner is waiting with champagne flute options. The crystal Mrs. Sterling? Or the vintage, gold-rimmed? Elena stares at the delicate glasses, thinking about how easily they'd shatter against a wall. The crystal, she says, her voice steady. They photograph better. 400 guests. $1,200 per plate. An orchestra playing Vivaldi, while tech billionaires and old money socialize in their designer armor, air kissing and networking and pretending they care about the charity. Childhood literacy. Elena's passion project back when she still believed her life had purpose beyond being decorative. Elena wears ice blue Valentino and a smile that hurts her face. She's perfected it over 10 years, The adoring wife gaze, the practiced laugh at Damon's jokes, the gentle hand on his arm that says I'm so proud of him to every camera flash. Damon works the room like the predator he is, 6'2", silver at his temples now distinguished, the society pages call it, custom tuxedo that costs more than most people's cars. He's magnificent. That's what makes it worse. Speech in 5, Mr. Sterling, an assistant whispers. Damon takes the stage. The room quiets. Elena stands in her designated spot, front left, visible to photographers, angled so her face shows devotion. 10 years ago, Damon begins, his voice carrying that practiced warmth that made her fall in love. I was nobody. A kid from nowhere with big dreams and no connections. Then I met Elena Hart. Yes, she was a Hart before she became a Sterling. And she believed in me when no one else did. The crowd awes. Elena's smile doesn't waver even as acid rises in her throat. She gave up her career as one of the most brilliant corporate attorneys I've ever known. She opened doors her family name could open that mine couldn't. She built this foundation while I built the company. Everything I am, everything we've accomplished, it's because of my rock, my partner, my wife. Applause erupts. Damon gestures to Elena, and she joins him on stage because that's what she does. He kisses her cheek, and she feels nothing but the ghost of who she used to be. As the applause continues, Elena's eyes scan the crowd. That's when she sees her. Back corner, near the donor wall. A woman in red, crimson silk, that cuts like a wound against the sea of black tuxedos and neutral gowns. Dark hair in waves that catch the light. Beautiful in that obvious, hungry way that threatens other women. Vanessa Hart. No relation, despite the shared last name, a coincidence Damon joked about when he hired her 6 months ago as his executive consultant. The woman who's been to their home for dinners, who Elena picked up from the airport when Damon was too busy, who complimented Elena's interior design choices and asked for her decorator's number. Their eyes meet across 300 people. Vanessa smiles. Not friendly, possessive. Knowing. The smile of a woman who's already won and is just waiting for everyone else to realize it. Elena's hand tightens on Damon's arm, nails digging through expensive fabric. You okay? Damon whispers, still waving to the crowd. Perfect, Elena says. But her mind is racing, rewinding 6 months of interactions. Vanessa at their Labor Day barbecue, laughing at Damon's stories. Vanessa asking Elena about Damon's favorite scotch. Vanessa in their home, walking their hallways, studying their lives like a blueprint. The affair isn't just Tuesday nights in a hotel room. It's been happening in Elena's own house, wearing the mask of friendship, while Elena smiled and offered wine and never suspected that the woman drinking from her glasses was planning to replace her. As they descend the stage, Elena catches Vanessa checking her phone, then slipping out a side exit. Damon's phone buzzes in his pocket. He glances at it, smiles slightly, and squeezes Elena's hand. I need to take this investor call. 5 minutes. He walks toward the same side exit. Elena stands alone in a room full of people who think they know her story and realizes she's been living a fiction. But now she needs evidence. She needs to know everything. She finds her clutch, pulls out her own phone, and opens Damon's company cloud account. She's had his passwords for years. He never thought she paid attention during his drunken late-night work sessions. She searches his files, personal folder, then private. Her fingers hover over the download button as the gala continues around her, oblivious. Inside that folder are hotel receipts, not random hotels. The Grand Meridian, room 1247. Every Tuesday for 26 weeks. The same room. Every single time. Like it's theirs. Like they have a home. Elena books room 1248 for next Tuesday. Then she closes her phone and returns to the party. Because the perfect wife doesn't leave her own gala early. But the perfect wife died an hour ago. The woman standing in her skin is someone new. Someone patient. Someone dangerous. The darkness is suffocating. Elena sits cross-legged on the hotel bed. Laptop screen, the only light source. Casting blue shadows across her face. She's been here for 43 minutes. Waiting. Recording device on the nightstand, pointed at the wall she shares with room 1247. Her hands are steady now, steadier than they've been in days. Through the wall, a door opens, closes. Muffled voices. Then laughter. His laughter. The one she used to love, deep and genuine. The sound he made when he was truly happy. Elena can't remember the last time he laughed like that with her. She turns up the recording device's sensitivity. Missed you, Vanessa's voice breathy. 6 days is too long. I know, baby. The gala was torture. Standing next to her, pretending. Don't talk about her right now. I don't want her in this room with us. Silence. Then sounds Elena closes her eyes against. Her jaw clenched so tight her teeth ache. She opens Damon's company cloud on her laptop. She's not here just to confirm the affair. She already knows. She's here to understand the scope of her destruction. Files load. She navigates to folders she's never had reason to explore. Legal, financial planning, personal assets. There. A folder titled Post-Merger Strategy. Inside, Divorce Contingency Planning Confidential. Elena's breath catches. She clicks. A document opens, 47 pages of legal analysis, dated 8 months ago. Before Vanessa. Or maybe right when Vanessa started. Memo re. Dissolution of marriage. Asset protection protocol. She schemes. Legal jargon. Prenuptial agreement analysis. Then, highlighted in yellow. Loophole identified in Section 7.3. Spousal contributions via family connections not quantifiable under current agreement language. Recommend proceeding with Hart family merger negotiations before filing. Post-merger timing optimal for minimizing settlement obligations. Elena reads it again. Then, again. He's not just cheating. He's been planning to divorce her strategically. Use her family's business connections first. Her father's company, Hart Industries. The merger Damon's been obsessing over for a year. The merger that requires her father's trust, her family name, her credibility vouching for Damon Sterling. Then, discard her. Legally. Cleanly. With nothing. Through the wall, Vanessa speaks. When are you finally going to leave her? I'm tired of waiting. After the merger closes. Damon's voice is cold, businesslike. Not the voice of a man in love. The voice of a man executing a plan. Another 6 weeks, maybe 8. Her father just signed the preliminary documents. Once it's finalized, the Sterling Hart merger makes me untouchable. $2 billion in combined valuation. And then Elena gets whatever the prenup says she gets. Which, thanks to the loophole Miller found, is basically nothing. The house, maybe. Some jewelry. But the company, the real assets, all protected. She gave you everything, though. Her career, her family's trust. And I'm grateful. Damon's tone sharpens. But gratitude doesn't build empires, Vanessa. She was useful. Now she's maintenance. Dead weight. Dead weight. Elena's hands hover over the keyboard, shaking now. She keeps reading the files. Another document. Asset transfer timeline. Damon's been moving money for 7 months. Offshore accounts. Trusts under shell corporations. Real estate in names she doesn't recognize. He's been hollowing out their marriage from the inside, taking everything of value, leaving her the pretty shell. Through the wall. What about when she finds out? She's not stupid, Damon. She's emotional. There's a difference. She'll cry, she'll threaten lawyers, but in the end, she'll sign. They always do. I'll give her enough to feel dignified, and she'll disappear into whatever life boring, past their prime society wives live. Vanessa laughs. You're terrible. I'm practical. Speaking of practical, Vanessa's voice drops lower, intimate. What about the baby? Have you thought about what you'll tell her? Elena's world stops. The baby. She reads the words again in her mind, trying to make them mean something different. But there's only one meaning. Her hands fly across the keyboard, searching Damon's files with new urgency. Medical folders. Insurance documents. There, Vanessa Hart, medical billing, Mount Sinai, OBGYN, $847. Date, 6 weeks ago. Elena opens her own medical records on another tab. The fertility treatments she begged Damon to try 3 years ago. His excuses, too busy, not the right time, after the next deal. He didn't want children with her. He wants them with Vanessa. Through the wall, Damon says something Elena can't hear. Then, Vanessa responds, I still think we should tell her soon. Before she figures it out. It would be kinder. Kind. Damon laughs. But it's different now, crueler. She doesn't deserve kind. You know what she did? What are you talking about? Nothing. Forget it. Just trust me. When this is over, Elena Sterling will get exactly what she deserves. The recording device captures everything. Elena downloads files, screenshots, documents, her mind moving through shock into something crystalline and cold. She pulls up her contacts, scrolls to a name she hasn't called in 4 years, Marcus Chun, her colleague from her attorney days, before she gave it all up. The man who once told her she was the smartest legal mind he'd ever worked with, and quitting was a waste. She types, remember when you said I was the smartest person you'd ever met? I need you to help me become the most dangerous. Send. 3 dots appear immediately. Then, when and where? Elena stands, collects her equipment, takes one last look at the wall separating her from her husband and his pregnant mistress, planning her erasure. She walks to her car, drives home, opens her house, their house, the one she designed, the one that suddenly feels like a mausoleum. In her study, she unlocks a drawer she hasn't opened in years. Inside, files from her corporate attorney days. Research she did when Damon first started building Sterling Enterprises. Analysis of structural vulnerabilities in corporate governance. Legal weak points in the very framework she helped him build. She pulls out a folder labeled Sterling Empire. Structural vulnerabilities. Her phone buzzes. Marcus, I'm listening. Elena opens her laptop and begins typing everything she knows about the company her husband built on her family's name. Every weakness, every corner cut, every legally questionable decision she stayed quiet about because she loved him. Her fingers fly across the keys, and she realizes something that makes her smile for the first time in weeks. Damon thinks she's decorative. He has no idea she's the one who knows where all his bodies are buried. Because she helped him dig the graves. Elena doesn't sleep. She sits in her study, surrounded by 10 years of her own erasure. The files spread across her desk tell a story she's been too close to see. Every career sacrifice, every will-do-it-later conversation about children, every time Damon asked her to call her father on his behalf. She wasn't building a marriage. She was building her own replacement. Her coffee's gone cold. She drinks it anyway. On her laptop, Vanessa Hart's social media loads. Elena scrolls back, not weeks, but months. Years. There. 18 months ago. A photo at a corporate law conference in Chicago. Vanessa in the background of someone else's picture, name-tagged and smiling. But it's who she's talking to that makes Elena's blood freeze. James Miller. Damon's attorney. The one who found the prenup loophole. Elena clicks through more photos. Finds another. Vanessa at a Sterling Enterprises charity event 2 years ago. Before she was hired. Before Damon claimed they'd just met. She zooms in. Vanessa's wearing a visitor badge. And in the reflection of a window, behind her, barely visible, Damon, watching her from across the room. This wasn't an affair that happened. This was an affair that was planned. Elena's phone rings. Marcus. She answers on the first ring. Tell me you're sitting down, he says. I'm sitting. Vanessa Hart isn't her real name. Born Vanessa Kozlov, changed it legally 4 years ago. Want to guess what she did before becoming an executive consultant? Elena's grip tightens on the phone. Tell me. Corporate intelligence. Freelance corporate spy. Her specialty? Infiltrating family businesses, extracting proprietary information, destabilizing partnerships from the inside. She's been hired by at least 6 different firms in the last decade. All settled out of court. All sealed records. The room tilts. Elena steadies herself against the desk. Damon hired her to destroy my family's company. That would be my guess. Get close to you. Get close to your father. Extract anything useful. The affair. Marcus pauses. That's either incredibly unprofessional or part of the plan. Elena's voice is hollow. Make it real enough that no one questions it. She thinks about the baby. Wonders if that was planned too. Another layer of authenticity. Another weapon. There's more, Marcus says. Your father. I made some calls to my contacts at Mount Sinai. He's been seen by a toxicologist 3 times in the past 8 months. Did you know that? What? Elevated levels of thallium in his blood work. Slow-acting poison. Mimics stress-related heart problems, fatigue, confusion. Someone's been dosing him, Elena. Small amounts over time. Elena's mind rewinds. Her father's increased forgetfulness, the tremor in his hands. How he'd aged 10 years in the last 6 months. Everyone blamed stress from the merger negotiations. When was his first appointment with the toxicologist? March. Right after Vanessa Hart started having dinner at your house. Elena's reflection stares back at her from the darkened window. A woman she doesn't recognize. Hollow-eyed. Skeletal in her silk robe. She gave up a partnership track position at one of Manhattan's most prestigious firms to support Damon's dreams. Gave up her own name recognition to become Mrs. Sterling. Put off having children because he said, after the next deal. And while she was playing house, he was systematically destroying her family. Her phone buzzes. Email notification from her father's assistant. Board meeting moved to Friday. Emergency vote on interim CEO succession plan due to Mr. Hart's health complications. Elena's blood runs cold. She calls her father. It rings 4 times before his caretaker answers. Mrs. Sterling? Your father's asleep. Wake him. Now. 2 minutes later, her father's voice, weak and confused. Elena? It's 4 in the morning. Dad, the board meeting Friday. What succession plan? Silence. Too long. Dad. Damon suggested it. Given my health issues, the board needs contingency leadership. Just temporary, until I'm better. Who did Damon suggest? Another pause. Elena can hear her father's labored breathing. Himself. As interim CEO of Hart Industries. The board already pre-approved it pending Friday's vote. Elena, he's family. He's been so helpful with the merger planning. And Elena hangs up. She pulls up the Sterling Hart merger documents on her laptop. Reads the clause she helped draft 2 years ago when they first discussed the possibility. In the event of leadership transition at Hart Industries during merger proceedings, the acquiring CEO shall assume interim control of both entities pending shareholder approval. If Damon becomes CEO of her father's company, even temporarily, the merger gives him control of both empires. Every asset, every account, everything her family built for 3 generations. And the prenup? The asset freeze she planned to invoke? She scrolls to the legal language. Freeze provisions void if marital assets are merged with separate business entities under sole operational control of either spouse. If Damon controls both companies, her freeze becomes meaningless. He'll have operational control of billions. Liquid assets to fight her for years. The ability to bury her in legal fees until she surrenders. Elena's hands shake as she opens her father's medical records. She's had access since his first heart scare 2 years ago, when he made her his healthcare proxy. She compares his symptoms timeline to Vanessa's dinner invitations. Every Tuesday, Vanessa brought wine. A gift, she'd say, from a vineyard Damon and I visited. Elena remembers drinking it with them. Remembers her father always finishing his glass, commenting on the robust flavor. She remembers Damon always making sure her father's glass was full. Her phone rings again. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. Mrs. Sterling? A woman's voice, young and shaking. My name is Sophie Chun. You don't know me, but I know your husband. I worked at Sterling Enterprises 3 years ago. I need to talk to you about what he did to me. And about the other women. Other women? There are 4 of us that I know of. Maybe more. We all have the same story. He seduced us, used us for business connections or information, then destroyed us when we weren't useful anymore. I signed an NDA, but I don't care anymore. I saw the news about Vanessa's arrest. Vanessa's what? Elena opens her news feed with shaking hands. Breaking. Vanessa Hart, consultant to Sterling Enterprises, arrested on suspicion of corporate espionage and attempted murder. Sources confirm connection to CEO Damon Sterling. The article is 40 minutes old. Posted while Elena was on the phone with Marcus. They arrested her at his penthouse an hour ago. Sophie continues. Mrs. Sterling, she's not the first. And if you don't stop him, she won't be the last. We want to help you. All of us. Can we meet? Elena stares at her reflection in the window. Behind her, the sun is starting to rise over Manhattan, pink and gold and beautiful, like the world isn't ending. Yes, Elena whispers. Send me a time and place. She hangs up and immediately calls Marcus back. I need you to do something for me. Name it. I need you to find out if Damon knew Vanessa was going to be arrested. If he tipped off the police himself. Why would he? Marcus stops. Understanding dawns. He's cutting her loose. She's a liability now. She knows everything, Marcus. Everything he's done. If she talks. He's been planning this. Jesus Christ, Elena. He used her to get to your family. And now he's feeding her to the FBI to look like a victim himself. Elena thinks about Vanessa in that hotel room, hand on her stomach, believing Damon loved her, believing she'd won. She's just another woman Damon Sterling destroyed. And Elena was supposed to be next. Her laptop pings. Email from Damon sent 15 minutes ago. I know you've been digging, Elena. We should talk. Come home. Elena reads it 3 times. He knows. Of course he knows. He's always been 3 steps ahead. Her phone buzzes again. Text from her father's caretaker. Your father collapsed. Ambulance on the way. Please come. Elena runs for her car, still in her robe. No shoes, phone in hand. She's pulling out of the driveway when she sees it, Damon's car. Parked down the street. Watching. He's not at the hospital. He's here. He knew her father would collapse. Knew she'd run. Knew she'd be vulnerable. Elena floors the accelerator, tires screaming. Behind her, Damon's car follows. Her father is stable. Alive. The word tastes like a miracle Elena doesn't deserve. We got here in time, the doctor says. But Mrs. Sterling, this is the second incident in 3 months. We need to discuss long-term care options. Elena nods, not hearing. She's watching the hallway where Damon stands, phone pressed to his ear, looking concerned for the cameras. 2 photographers already lurk by the elevator. Someone tipped them off. Of course someone did. She waits until he's alone. Then she walks toward him, and he sees her face. Whatever he sees there makes him take a step back. Elena, I know about the hotel. I know about Vanessa. I know about the merger plan, the prenup loophole, the offshore accounts. Her voice is surgical, precise. I know you've been poisoning my father. Damon's expression doesn't change. That's how she knows it's true. You're upset. You're not thinking clearly. I filed for divorce 3 hours ago. Invoked the emergency asset freeze clause. Every account, every property, every stock option. Frozen pending investigation. Now his mask cracks. You can't do that. I already did. Judge Patterson signed it at 5 a.m. She's an old friend from law school. Elena steps closer. The merger closes in 6 days. You need liquid capital to finalize it. But you can't touch a single dollar until the divorce is settled. Which, with the forensic accounting I've requested, will take months. Damon's jaw clenches. You're destroying everything we built. No, I'm destroying what you stole. For a moment, they just stare at each other. 10 years of marriage collapsing into this sterile hospital hallway that smells like antiseptic and dying flowers. I loved you, Damon says finally. And he sounds almost sincere. Almost. You loved what I could give you. Elena turns to walk away, and for the first time in weeks, she feels something like power. Like control. Like she's won. Then her phone rings. Unknown number. Again. She answers, still walking. Hello. Heavy breathing. Then Vanessa's voice, raw from crying. He knew. He knew they were coming for me. He told them where to find me. Elena stops walking. Vanessa. He used me. Used both of us. And now he's going to walk away clean while I rot in prison. A bitter laugh. You think you're winning? You think freezing his assets matters? Elena, you have no idea what he's capable of. What are you talking about? Your father. The poisoning. That wasn't me. Elena's blood goes cold. You were there. Every Tuesday, you brought wine. I brought wine because Damon asked me to. Said your father loved that vineyard. I didn't know what was in it. I swear to God I didn't know. Vanessa's voice cracks. But Damon knew. He knew I'd be the perfect suspect. That's why he started the affair, why he got me pregnant. So when it all fell apart, I'd take the fall. Why are you telling me this? Because he's coming for you next. And if you think a divorce filing is going to stop him. The line goes dead. Elena spins around. Damon is gone from the hallway. She runs back toward her father's room, heart pounding. Her father lies in bed, hooked to machines. Stable. Safe. But on his bedside table, someone's left a bottle of water. Unopened. Branded with a hospital logo. Except the hospital doesn't use that brand. Elena's hands shake as she picks it up. On the bottom, in tiny letters, drink me. A joke. A threat. A promise. She turns to the nurse. Who brought this? A gentleman. Said he was family. Very concerned. Handsome man in a suit. Elena's phone buzzes. Text from a blocked number. You can't freeze what you can't find. And you can't protect what you love if you're busy fighting me. Come home, Elena. Let's talk about this like adults. You have 1 hour before I file my counterclaim. And trust me, you don't want to see what I have on you. She stares at the message. At the water bottle. At her father sleeping, vulnerable. In a hospital room where anyone can walk in. Damon has something on her. Something from 7 years ago that she's almost forgotten. The ethical violation Marcus mentioned. The one that could invalidate every legal move she's made. Her phone rings again. Marcus, frantic. Elena, don't go home. I just got a copy of Damon's counterfiling. He's accusing you of corporate espionage. Says you've been feeding Hart Industries secrets to competitors for years. He has emails, documents. I don't know how, but he's made it look real. That's impossible. It doesn't matter if it's real. It matters if it looks real. And Elena, he's hired Patricia Vance. The name lands like a bomb. Patricia Vance. The attorney who destroyed 3 CEOs in insider trading cases last year. The woman who doesn't lose. He's not just fighting the divorce, Marcus continues. He's going to destroy you publicly. Criminal charges, disbarment, prison time. He's betting you'll drop everything and settle quietly. Elena looks at her father's sleeping form. At the poisoned water bottle. At the divorce papers she thought would save her. She was winning for 45 minutes. Now she's not sure she'll survive the week. Marcus, she whispers. There are other women. 4 of them. They called me. They want to help. Silence. Then, Elena. That's a RICO pattern. If you can prove Damon systematically defrauded multiple women over years. Set up a meeting. Tonight. I don't care where. She hangs up and takes one last look at her father. On his monitor. His heart rate is steady. Normal. But when she glances at the hallway, she sees him. Damon, standing by the elevator, watching her through the glass. He raises his phone. Types something. Her phone buzzes. 45 minutes left. Tick-tock, Mrs. Sterling. St. Regency Private Club, 9:47 p.m. 5 women sit around a table in a private room that costs more per hour than most people earn in a week. Elena recognizes the type. Survivors who've learned to armor themselves in silk and steel. Sophie Chin speaks first. I was 26. Junior analyst at Sterling Enterprises. Damon took interest in my work, then in me. 3 months later, I was pregnant. He paid for the abortion and fired me the same week. Another woman, older, impeccably dressed. Marissa Grant. I owned a tech startup. Damon seduced me, got access to my patents, then launched a competitor company using my own designs. Sued me into bankruptcy when I fought back. One by one, they share their stories. Different details, same architecture. Damon identifies a target, deploys charm like a weapon, extracts what he needs, destroys the evidence. He made me sign an NDA, Sophie continues. Threatened to ruin my career if I talked. But when I saw Vanessa's arrest, I thought, maybe this time it's different. Maybe this time someone can stop him. Elena's about to respond when Marcus bursts through the door, tablet in hand. Face white. We have a problem. A big one. He sets the tablet on the table. Security footage from Mount Sinai Hospital. Timestamp this morning. The video shows a woman in scrubs entering Elena's father's room. She moves efficiently, checking 4 lines, adjusting medication. But something's wrong with the image quality. The woman's face is slightly blurred, like the camera couldn't quite focus. That's not a nurse, Marcus says. That's Vanessa Hart. For hours before she was arrested. Elena leans closer. That's impossible. Vanessa was arrested at Damon's penthouse at 6 a.m. This footage is from 5:30. Exactly. Which means the arrest warrant was already issued. The police were already en route. But somehow, Vanessa knew exactly where to be and when. I don't understand. Keep watching. The footage continues. Vanessa injects something into the 4 line. Then she pulls out her phone, types a message, and leaves. 2 minutes later, alarm sound. Medical staff rush in. Elena's father coding. The exact moment she got the phone call. Vanessa tried to kill him, Sophie whispers. No. Marcus rewinds the footage. Watch her face when the alarms start. She's surprised. And look, she injected the solution into the saline bag, not directly into his bloodstream. If she wanted him dead, that's not how you do it. He pulls up another file. I had a toxicologist analyze what was left in the 4. It's not poison. It's chelation therapy, a treatment that binds to heavy metals and flushes them from the body. Vanessa was trying to save him. The room goes silent. Elena's mind races, reframing everything. But if Vanessa was helping, then someone else wanted your father dead. Marcus pulls up more documents. And I know who. Meet Catherine Wells, Sterling Enterprises CFO for the past 8 years. Damon's right hand. And according to financial records, I legally shouldn't have. His business partner in 17 shell corporations you don't know exist. A photo appears. A severe woman in her 50s, gray hair, sharp suit. Elena recognizes her vaguely from company events. Always in the background, forgettable. Catherine's been embezzling from Sterling Enterprises for 6 years. Small amounts, expertly hidden. But here's where it gets interesting. She's also been embezzling from Hart Industries, your father's company, for 3 years. How is that possible? Someone gave her access. Someone with your father's trust and your family's passwords. Marcus meets Elena's eyes. Someone who needed Hart Industries weakened before the merger. Because a weakened company is easier to acquire. And a dead CEO is easier to replace. Elena's throat tightens. Damon. Not Damon. Marcus pulls up a new file. I've been tracking the money trail all day. The offshore accounts you found in Damon's files? They're not his. They're Catherine's. She's been setting him up for months, making it look like he's the one stealing. But why? Because Catherine Wells isn't working alone. Marcus clicks to a new screen. Corporate records. Partnership agreements. She's working with James Miller, Damon's attorney. The man who found the prenup loophole. Sophie's face goes white. Miller was my attorney too. When I sued Damon, he convinced me to settle for nothing. Marissa nods slowly. He represented me. Said I had no case. Marcus continues. Miller and Catherine have been running this con for a decade. They identify wealthy men building companies, help them destroy relationships and business partnerships, then position themselves to profit from the chaos. Damon isn't the mastermind. He's the instrument. But the affair, Vanessa, was real. Vanessa did fall for Damon. She was hired to spy, yes, but not by him. By Catherine. To gather information on Hart Industries. The affair wasn't part of the plan. It was Vanessa going rogue. And when she got pregnant and started demanding Damon leave you, she became a liability. Elena feels the room spinning. So Catherine had her arrested. Catherine has a contact in the FBI. Made one phone call, and Vanessa became the perfect scapegoat for everything. The poisoning, the corporate espionage, all of it. And Damon. Damon thinks he's winning. He thinks his divorce counterclaim will destroy you. He has no idea Catherine's been documenting every illegal thing he's ever done, ready to turn over to prosecutors the moment the merger closes. She gets Hart Industries. Miller gets Sterling Enterprises. Damon gets 20 years in federal prison. Elena stares at the documents, her carefully constructed understanding of the past 6 months disintegrating. She thought she was fighting her husband. She's been fighting ghosts, while the real enemy watched from the shadows. There's more. Marcus pulls up another file. The email Damon sent you this morning, I know you've been digging, wasn't from Damon. It was from Catherine, using his email. She's been reading everything. Your files, your communications with me, your plans. She knows about this meeting. She knows about the RICO case you're building. Then why hasn't she stopped us? Because she doesn't need to stop you. She needs you to destroy Damon for her. You're doing exactly what she wants. Elena's phone buzzes. Email from an unknown address. No subject line. Just a message. Dear Mrs. Sterling, by now Marcus has told you about me. Good. You needed to know what you're really fighting. But here's what he hasn't figured out yet. Your father's poisoning? That was Damon. Acting alone. No conspiracy, just a desperate man trying to speed up his timeline. I have proof. Video evidence from your home security system. Footage that mysteriously disappeared from your cloud storage. I can give it to you. I can give you everything you need to destroy him completely. Or I can give it to the FBI and let you both burn. You have until Friday's board meeting to decide. Help me take control of Hart Industries quietly, or lose everything. Your father's company, your freedom, and any chance at justice. Choose wisely. C. The room is silent except for Sophie's sharp intake of breath. Marcus looks at Elena. She's forcing a choice. Side with her against Damon, or she burns you both. Can we fight her? Fight a woman who's been 3 steps ahead of everyone for a decade? Who has enough evidence to put both you and Damon in prison? Who controls the CFO position at both companies? Marcus shakes his head. Elena, she's offering you a deal. It's probably the only deal you'll get. Elena looks at the 5 women around the table, all of them destroyed by a system they never saw coming. What happens if I refuse? If I expose everyone, Damon, Catherine, Miller, all of it? Then Catherine releases the evidence about your ethical violation from 7 years ago. The one where you accessed privileged client information to help Damon close his first major deal. You'll be disbarred retroactively. Every legal action you've taken gets invalidated. The divorce, the asset freeze, all of it disappears. Damon walks free. Catherine gets the companies anyway. And you go to prison for fraud. Elena's hands shake. I didn't. That client information was. I know. But Catherine has emails that make it look intentional. Forged or real, doesn't matter. They'll destroy you. The women at the table watch Elena with something between pity and recognition. They've all been here before. They all made their choices. Elena stands, walks to the window overlooking Manhattan. Somewhere out there, Damon sleeps, thinking he's won. Catherine plans her next move. Her father lies in a hospital bed, poisoned by the man Elena once loved. And Vanessa sits in a jail cell, the only person who tried to help, punished for crimes she didn't commit. We have 48 hours until the board meeting, Elena says quietly. Marcus, I need you to do something for me. What? Find Vanessa's lawyer. Tell them I'm paying for her defense. Full team, best attorney's money can buy. Elena, that'll cost millions. I don't care. She turns to face the room. Catherine thinks I'll choose self-preservation. That I'll sacrifice my father's company to save myself. Won't you? Sophie asks softly. Elena thinks about the woman in the mirror 3 days ago. The perfect wife. The discarded asset. No, she says. I'm going to do something Catherine won't expect. What? I'm going to tell the truth. All of it. To everyone. Marcus's face goes pale. That's suicide. Maybe. Or maybe it's the only move Catherine hasn't planned for. Her phone buzzes. Text from block number. Tick-tock, Mrs. Sterling. Elena hasn't slept in 36 hours. She stands in Marcus's office, surrounded by 3 attorneys, 2 forensic accountants, and enough evidence to destroy everyone she's ever known. "You're sure about this?" Marcus asks for the 3rd time. "I've never been more sure of anything." She picks up her phone and dials. The FBI field office answers on the 2nd ring. "Special Agent Rodriguez? My name is Elena Sterling. I'd like to report a RICO conspiracy involving corporate fraud, securities violations, and attempted murder. And I have evidence." The news breaks like a tsunami. Sterling Enterprises CEO investigated for securities fraud. Mysterious CFO at center of multi-company conspiracy. Pregnant mistress may be innocent. New evidence emerges. Elena watches the coverage from Marcus's office. Her phone rings every 30 seconds. Reporters, old friends. Her mother calling from the Hamptons, asking what the hell is happening. She ignores all of it. Instead, she watches the FBI agents execute search warrants at Sterling Enterprises headquarters. At Catherine Wells's brownstone in the Upper East Side. At James Miller's law office. She's given them everything. The offshore accounts. The embezzlement trails. The forged documents. The pattern of victims spanning a decade. And the video footage from her home security system. The backup drive Catherine didn't know existed. Showing Damon methodically adding powder to her father's evening brandy. 3 months of footage. Irrefutable. Phase 1 complete, Marcus says, watching his tablet. Catherine Wells just lawyered up. So did Miller. And Damon. Radio silent. His PR team released a statement calling this a vindictive attack by an unstable spouse. Standard playbook. Elena's jaw clenches. Of course. Damon's already spinning this as a woman scorned, making false accusations. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. She answers. Impressive, Mrs. Sterling. Catherine Wells's voice is ice. "I underestimated you. Is that why you're calling?" To admit defeat. Catherine laughs, sharp, humorless. "Defeat? Darling, you just did exactly what I needed. You exposed Damon's crimes with evidence I couldn't touch without implicating myself. You handed the FBI a gift-wrap case against him. And now, while everyone's focused on him." The line goes dead. Elena turns to Marcus. She's running. She can't. FBI froze her accounts an hour ago. No, she's not running with money. Elena's pulling up financial records, her fingers flying across the keyboard. She's running with information. "Marcus, what if the offshore accounts we found weren't her only play? What if?" She stops, stares at the screen. "What?" Marcus leans over her shoulder. Hart Industries. The board meeting is tomorrow. Catherine's not on the board, but Elena clicks through corporate records. Jesus Christ. She's been buying shares. Small amounts over 3 years, through shell corporations we didn't trace. She's been building a position. Marcus goes white. How much does she own? Elena calculates. 11%. Combined with proxy votes she's been collecting from minority shareholders, she could swing the vote. For what? For selling the company. If my father's incapacitated and I'm tied up in FBI investigations, the board could authorize an emergency sale to prevent value collapse. Catherine's positioned a buyer. Her screen refreshes. New SEC filing. Timestamped 30 minutes ago. Elena clicks through. Phoenix Global Holdings. A private equity firm. No public information. But buried in the corporate structure, she finds it. Catherine Wells, listed as strategic advisor. She's buying my family's company with embezzled money, restructured through a dozen shells. Elena's voice is hollow. And because the FBI is focused on Damon, they won't stop the sale in time. Marcus grabs his phone. I'll call Rodriguez. It won't matter. Corporate acquisitions aren't criminal unless we can prove the money trail. That'll take months. The board votes tomorrow. Then we stop the vote. How? My father's unconscious. I'm radioactive. The board won't listen to me now that I'm at the center of an FBI investigation. And Catherine has enough votes too. Her phone rings. The caller ID makes her stomach drop. Vanessa Hart, Rikers Island. Elena answers on speaker. You got me the lawyers. Vanessa's voice is raw. Why? Because you tried to save my father. Because you're not the enemy. Silence. Then, I have something you need. Information about Catherine. About why she really targeted Damon. Tell me. Not over the phone. You need to come here. Now. And Elena. Vanessa's voice cracks. Bring protection. Because once Catherine realizes I'm talking, neither of us is safe. The visiting room smells like disinfectant and desperation. Vanessa sits across from Elena, hands cuffed, looking 20 years older than she did a week ago. The pregnancy shows now, a small curve beneath the orange jumpsuit. Catherine Wells killed her husband. Vanessa says, without preamble. Elena blinks. What? 12 years ago. Richard Wells died in a boating accident in the Hamptons. But it wasn't an accident. I have proof. I found it when I was doing corporate intelligence work for her. She paid me to bury it. That's how she recruited me. Why are you telling me this now? Because I'm done being her weapon. Vanessa's eyes are hard. She promised me Damon. Promised me a life. Instead, she used me to destroy him so she could take everything. The affair, the pregnancy. She orchestrated all of it. Told me exactly when to seduce him, what to say, how to make him fall. I thought I was in control. I thought I was winning. Her voice breaks. I was just another pawn. Elena feels something shift, not sympathy exactly, but recognition. Where's the proof about her husband? Safe deposit box. Bank of Manhattan, 47th Street. Box 2847. Keys in my apartment, taped under the bathroom sink. Vanessa slides a piece of paper across the table. Access code. Take it. Use it. Destroy her like she destroyed us. Why should I trust you? Because you're the only person who might actually win. Vanessa looks down at her stomach. And because my daughter deserves a world where people like Catherine don't get away with it. Elena takes the paper. What happened to Richard Wells? Why did she kill him? He found out she was embezzling from his family's company. Gave her a choice. Prison or divorce with nothing. So she chose option 3. Vanessa meets Elena's eyes. She's going to do the same to you. The moment you're not useful, you're dead. She can't. She already tried. The water bottle in your father's hospital room? That wasn't Damon being theatrical. That was Catherine testing your security. Seeing how close she could get. Elena's blood runs cold. She's been in your house, Elena. She has keys. Codes. She knows your routines. And once the board meeting is over tomorrow, and she has what she wants, Vanessa doesn't finish the sentence. A guard announces visiting time is over. Elena stands. I'll get you out of here. After this is done. Don't make promises you can't keep. Vanessa's smile is bitter. Just make sure she burns. Marcus is waiting in the passenger seat when Elena returns. Well, we need to get to Vanessa's apartment. Now. Already done. I sent 2 associates. They're searching. His phone rings. He answers, listens, his face going white. When? Are you sure? He hangs up. Looks at Elena. Vanessa's apartment burned down 40 minutes ago. Electrical fire, according to initial reports. The entire building's gone. Elena's hands tighten on the steering wheel. Catherine, we don't know that. She's eliminating evidence. Vanessa was the last person who could connect her to the murder. Now the proof is gone. Not necessarily. If the safe deposit box. Elena's already dialing the Bank of Manhattan. A receptionist answers. Box 2847, please. This is Elena Sterling. I have authorization. I'm sorry, ma'am. That box was accessed and closed this morning at 9:15 a.m. The contents were removed by the authorized party. Who? I can't release that information without. Elena hangs up, stares at the Manhattan skyline through her windshield. Catherine was ahead of them. Again, her phone buzzes. Text from unknown number. Did you really think Vanessa was going to save you? She worked for me until the very end. That safe deposit box story? A wild goose chase to keep you busy while I finalize the Heart Industries sale. The board votes in 18 hours. You've lost Elena. But I'm not cruel. I'll let you keep the house. Consider it a parting gift. See. Marcus reads over her shoulder. She's bluffing. She has to be. Is she? Elena thinks about the past 72 hours. Every move she's made, Catherine has countered. Every piece of evidence she's found, Catherine has already neutralized. She's been playing checkers while Catherine plays chess. Her phone rings. FBI Agent Rodriguez. Mrs. Sterling, we need you to come in for questioning. New evidence has emerged suggesting you may have been aware of the embezzlement schemes earlier than you claimed. We're not charging you yet, but what evidence? Emails between you and Catherine Wells dating back 5 years, discussing financial irregularities at Hart Industries. It appears you've been complicit from the beginning. Elena's world tilts. Those emails are fake. They're in your personal account, Mrs. Sterling. Sent from your IP address. Time-stamped and backed up on corporate servers. I'm sorry, but we need you to come in. Now. The line goes dead. Marcus stares at her. Catherine hacked your email. Planted evidence. Elena, if the FBI believes you're part of this, then I can't stop the board vote. I'll be arrested, and Catherine gets Hart Industries by default. What do we do? Elena sits in silence. Outside, the city continues, oblivious to the war being waged in corporate towers and jail cells and burned-out apartments. She thinks about Damon, probably in his penthouse, believing he's still the center of this story. She thinks about Vanessa, in prison, realizing too late she was always disposable. She thinks about the 5 women from last night, Sophie, Marissa, and the others, who tried to fight and lost everything. Everyone who's gone against Catherine Wells has been destroyed. Everyone except. Elena's eyes widen. Marcus. The women from last night. Where are they now? I don't know. Sophie said they were going home, laying low until. Call them. All of them. Right now. Why? Because Catherine's been planning for me. She's been planning for Damon. She's been planning for every move we'd make. Elena's voice is steel. But she hasn't been planning for an army. Marcus dials. The phone rings once. Twice. Then a voice Elena doesn't recognize. Hello, Marcus. Sophie can't come to the phone right now. None of them can. But Catherine Wells would like you to know that she appreciates your continued efforts to make this interesting. Please tell Mrs. Sterling the board meeting is tomorrow at 9 a.m. She's welcome to attend, though it might be difficult from a jail cell. The line goes dead. Elena's phone buzzes one more time. Checkmate. See, Elena doesn't go to jail. Instead, she stands outside Hart Industries headquarters surrounded by 17 women. Not 5. 17. Sophie Chun found the others. Every woman Damon Sterling destroyed over 15 years. Women who signed NDAs, who took settlements, who disappeared into quiet lives of shame and silence. They came anyway. Each one carries a folder. Each folder contains evidence, contracts, emails, medical records, bank statements. A decade and a half of systematic fraud, manipulation, and abuse. Catherine Wells didn't plan for this, Sophie says quietly. She planned for you fighting alone. Marcus approaches, phone in hand. FBI dropped the investigation. The emails in your account, forensics, proved they were planted. Catherine got sloppy. She's in custody now. Elena's chest loosens for the first time in days. And the board meeting? Postponed indefinitely. Your father woke up this morning. First thing he did was revoke Catherine's proxy votes. The sale is dead. Around Elena, the women begin to smile. Some cry. One laughs, a sound like breaking glass, sharp with relief. It's over, Marissa whispers. It's actually over. The press conference is brief. Elena stands at a podium, flanked by the 17 women, with her father seated behind her. Weak but alive, his hand steady on his cane. Today we're announcing a civil RICO lawsuit against Damon Sterling, Catherine Wells, and James Miller for operating a criminal enterprise spanning 15 years. The pattern is clear. Identify victims, exploit them, destroy them, profit from the chaos. Camera flashes explode. Reporters shout questions. These women, Elena gestures to the group behind her, represent just a fraction of the victims. But together, we're ensuring this never happens again. She doesn't mention the fear, the sleepless nights, the moments she wanted to surrender. She mentions only the victory. The house is silent. Finally, Elena sits in her study, watching the news coverage. Damon's mugshot cycles across screens. He was arrested at his penthouse 2 hours ago, trying to flee to the Cayman Islands. Catherine Wells denied bail. James Miller cooperating with prosecutors in exchange for reduced charges. Her phone buzzes. Text from Marcus. Board officially reinstated your father as CEO. You're being considered for COO position. We won, Elena. We actually won. She should feel triumph, relief, something. Instead, she feels hollow. 10 years of marriage. 10 years of building a life that was always a lie. She dismantled it in 5 days. And now she sits in an empty mansion, surrounded by furniture she chose and memories that were never real. Her father appears in the doorway, leaning heavily on his cane. You should be celebrating. I destroyed everything. You saved everything. He moves slowly into the room, sits across from her. Your mother called. She's proud of you. So am I. Elena's throat tightens. I didn't do it alone. The best generals never do. Her father's eyes are sharp despite his weakness. Those women, they followed you because you gave them something they'd lost. Hope, purpose, a chance to fight back. And now what? We wait for trials that'll take years? Watch lawyers turn this into a circus. Now you rebuild. The company, your life, yourself. He reaches across the desk, takes her hand. You're not the woman who stood in that hotel hallway 5 days ago. You're someone stronger. Elena wants to believe him. Her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. But something makes her pick up. Heavy breathing. Then a voice she recognizes but can't place. Mrs. Sterling? This is Officer Davidson, Rikers Island. There's been an incident. Vanessa Hart, she's. Elena's blood runs cold. What happened? She made bail this afternoon. Anonymous donor posted the $2 million. She was released at 4:47 p.m. The officer pauses. We found her ankle monitor cut off near the Canadian border. She's gone. Elena's father watches, her face drain of color. What is it? She doesn't answer. Just stares at her phone as a new message appears. Unknown number. A photo. Vanessa Hart, sitting in what looks like a car, holding her pregnant stomach with one hand. In the other hand, a gun. Below the image, text. You took everything from me, Elena. My freedom. My future. My baby's father. I spent 5 days in hell while you played hero. Now it's your turn. See you soon. Elena's hands shake. She's coming for me. Marcus burst through the door, phone pressed to his ear, face white. Elena, Vanessa made bail. I know. There's more. The anonymous donor who posted her bail? We traced it. It came from an offshore account. Whose? Marcus meets her eyes. Catherine Wells. She arranged Vanessa's release 4 hours before she was arrested herself. She knew she was going down. So she gave Vanessa freedom and a reason to blame you for everything. Elena's father stands, unsteady. We need to call the police. And tell them what? Elena's voice is hollow. That a woman who was wrongfully imprisoned is angry at me? That she has every right to hate me for the role I played in destroying her life. Her phone buzzes again. The baby needs a father. You took him from us. So I'll take everything from you. Starting tonight. Elena pulls up her home security feed on her laptop. The screen is black. Every camera. Every sensor. She's already here, Elena whispers. Marcus is already dialing 911. Her father moves toward her, protective. But Elena stands frozen, staring at her dark security monitors, realizing the terrible truth. She won the war, but she forgot about the casualties who would want revenge. The doorbell rings. Everyone freezes. It rings again, long insistent. Elena walks toward the foyer, Marcus shouting behind her to wait, her father calling her name. She looks through the peephole. No one there. She opens the door. On her doorstep, a baby carrier. Empty. And a note pinned to the handle. I'm already inside. The mansion was dark when Elena arrived. Her security team's silence should have been her first warning, but adrenaline dulled her instincts. She pushed through the front door, hand hovering over her phone's emergency button. Don't. Vanessa sat in the living room's leather chair, illuminated only by city light through floor-to-ceiling windows. A gun rested on the coffee table between them, close enough to grab, far enough to seem like a choice rather than a threat. Elena's finger stayed poised over her phone. You're violating bail. You took everything. Vanessa's voice cracked. My career. My freedom. My child's father. You tried to murder my father. Elena's words came ice cold. You seduced my husband as a job. Is that what you think? Vanessa laughed bitterly. Damon didn't hire me to seduce him, Elena. He hired me to seduce your father. Elena's hand lowered slightly. What? 2 years ago. Before we ever met. Damon needed inside information on Sterling Hart's succession plans. He contracted my firm, Corporate Intelligence, to extract it from your father. But the old man was too careful, too moral. So Damon pivoted. Vanessa's hand drifted toward her stomach. Seduce himself instead. Make it look like an affair. Use me to infiltrate your family through a different door. I was supposed to be a consultant, nothing more. But you fell in love with him, Elena finished. The baby was supposed to make him choose me. I thought, Vanessa's voice broke. I thought if I gave him everything, proved my loyalty, he'd leave you. But you know what he told me 3 days ago? Through his lawyer? That the child isn't his. That I'm delusional. That he has evidence of my obsessive behavior. Elena saw it then. The gun wasn't for her. It was for Vanessa herself. We're both his victims, Vanessa whispered. No. Elena stepped forward, deliberately blocking Vanessa's path to the weapon. I'm not his victim. Not anymore. She pulled out her phone, turned the screen toward Vanessa. Recording. Live streaming to Marcus's secure server, timestamped, encrypted. You just confessed to everything on record. Damon's premeditation. The corporate espionage. The poisoning scheme. Your testimony exonerates me of every accusation he's made. Vanessa's face drained. Sirens wailed in the distance. Marcus had called the moment the stream started. You used me, just like he did. Yes. Elena didn't soften it. But I'm offering you something he never would. A choice. She sat across from Vanessa, ignoring the gun. Testify against Damon. Every crime, every scheme, every manipulation. I'll ensure you get minimum security, early parole consideration, and a trust fund for your daughter. She'll be placed with someone who actually cares, Sophia Chen, one of the women you probably saw at the press conference. She can't have children. She'll love your daughter like her own. Why would you help me? Because destroying Damon through the courts takes years. Asset freezes, appeals, legal delays. But with your full testimony, I can invoke the moral turpitude clause in his corporate contracts. Every asset protection he's built, every offshore trust, every shell company, voided. He won't just be prosecuted. He'll be bankrupted. And your daughter? She deserves better than a father who'll deny she exists, and a mother in maximum security. The sirens grew louder. Vanessa looked at the gun, then at Elena. What do you get from this? Elena's smile didn't reach her eyes. Everything he tried to take from me. And the knowledge that he'll spend the next 15 years in a cell, watching me build an empire from the ashes of his. You become just like him, Vanessa said quietly. No, I've become worse. Because I actually win. The police knocked. Vanessa stood slowly, hands raised. As they cuffed her, she looked back at Elena. The recording. It proves I'm guilty too. It proves you were manipulated by a master criminal. Your lawyer, the one I'm providing, will make that argument very convincingly. 2 weeks later, Damon Sterling was arrested on 47 counts. Federal prosecutors called it the most comprehensive white-collar crime case in a decade. His remaining assets, $800 million after legal fees and settlements, were seized. The Sterling family business returned to Elena's control, announced record profits under new leadership. But victories taste like ash when you eat them alone. Elena sat in her corner office at 2 a.m., the city lights below offering no warmth. She'd won. Damon would die in prison. Her father's legacy was secure. Vanessa's daughter would have a life. And Elena had nothing but an empire built on the grave of who she used to be. The woman who'd loved romance novels and wanted 3 children and believed in second chances. That Elena died in a hotel hallway. Hand on a door she should have opened differently. A knock. Marcus entered without waiting, dropping files on her desk. 3 more women contacted us. Different men, same patterns. They read about you. They want your help. Elena stared at the files. Names. Stories. Suffering. She looked at her reflection in the dark window. The face staring back was harder, colder, carved from calculated revenge. She barely recognized herself. But she recognized what she'd become. Not a wife. Not a victim. A weapon. Schedule the meetings, she said. If I survive this, I can help them survive theirs. Damon Sterling began serving a 15-year federal sentence in Fort Dix. His Wikipedia page would forever read, disgraced billionaire. At night, other inmates asked for legal advice from the former CEO. He gave it. He had nothing else to give. Vanessa Hart delivered a daughter in minimum security. Elena's lawyer got her sentence reduced to 3 years. Sophia Chin visited every week, holding the baby through plexiglass, singing lullabies. The trust fund Elena established would send the girl to Harvard if she wanted. Vanessa would be free before her daughter's 3rd birthday. Elena Sterling appeared on the cover of Forbes, the woman who took back everything. The article praised her business acumen. It never mentioned what she'd lost in the taking. Her office stayed lit until dawn most nights. She met with women, dozens now, who'd survived similar patterns. Some wanted legal help. Others just wanted to be believed. Elena gave them both. But her apartment stayed empty. She'd stopped dating after the 3rd man Googled her name and looked at her differently. She'd stopped seeing her old friends after they kept asking if she was okay in that careful, pitying way. Her father recovered, but looked at her with something like fear now, pride mixed with the knowledge of what she'd become to save him. Marcus brought her coffee one morning. You changed everything, you know. 12 civil suits filed against powerful men this quarter, all citing your case as precedent. Elena nodded, watching the sunrise through bulletproof glass she'd had installed. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Impressive work. But you left loose ends. I'm watching. The message from Chapter 8. Still unidentified, still lurking. Elena deleted it without responding. Let them watch. Let them come. She'd burned her old life to ashes and built a fortress from the ruins. She'd become unforgettable by erasing who she'd been. The cost? Everything soft in her had calcified into armor. What she did next changed everything. But no one mentioned what it changed her into. A queen in an empty castle. A warrior with no war left to fight. A woman who'd won so completely that winning was all she had left.